We are now on question numbers 19, 20, 21, and 22 on our review sheet. All of these questions are referencing the same triangle, which is right here. You can see that our vertices are labeled and the lengths of our sides are labeled. And the question for number 19 is, what is cosine of angle B? Now, as soon as I see that word cosine, class, I'm going to go ahead and write out SOHCAHTOA, because I know somehow I'm going to be using that. SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so what is cosine of angle B? We know cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So looking at angle B as our reference, let's circle that. And let's name our sides. And we have this side, the longest side of the triangle, or the side opposite the right angle, is the hypotenuse. The side next to angle B is called adjacent. And the side opposite angle B is CA. It's the one across from angle B, and that is opposite. Now, the reason I'm circling these letters is, take a look. It can be confusing for some students to see, well, this vertex is labeled angle A, and now you're using A again to describe adjacent. So just be careful on that. By putting a circle around it, I'm just making sure that we understand I'm not labeling a vertex or the side itself like with any other variable. This is just a A that stands for adjacent. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which in this case, the adjacent side is 12. The hypotenuse is 20. And if we put that in our calculator, we will get 0.6 is cosine for this particular triangle. Let me give a bigger circle. All right, let's take a look at number 20, which says, what is tangent of angle B? Well, we go back to our acronym. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. And looking back at our triangle, the length of the opposite side is 16. The length of the adjacent side is 12. And plug that into your calculator. 16 divided by 12. It's a repeating fraction, a repeating decimal, so I'll just run it out there to 3 decimal places. It is 1.333 is tangent of angle B. Number 21, what is sine of B? Well, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So O over H. Our opposite side value, our length is 16. Our hypotenuse is 20. 16 over 20. And your calculator is 0.8. There is sine of B. The last question is asking you, what is the measure of angle B? And you can see we don't know the measure of angle B by looking at the triangle. We know that C is 90, but we have no idea what the measures of B and A are. We can use inverse trig to find that. So you can pick to use either cosine, sine, or tangent to solve this problem. I'm just going to go ahead and use sine to solve this one. So instead of putting in sine in your calculator, you will put in this one that's labeled sine of -1, or inverse sine. Inverse sine doesn't take a degree. All your other trig ratios, sine, cosine, and tangent, you plug in the degrees of an angle and out comes the ratio of those two sides. Inverse sine, you plug in the ratio of the two sides, in this case opposite over hypotenuse because we're looking at sine. Plug that in your calculator and out comes an estimate of the degrees. In this case, you're going to end up with about 53.13 degrees. So the estimated value of the measure of angle B